Welcome to another episode of Save the Day, Scotty. That's right, Save the Day, Scotty. Okay, so I now own an oscilloscope. I have no idea where I'm going to use an oscilloscope, but he said 20 bucks, and he said it ran, power's on. So here we go again. All right, it's plugged in the back. Dual circuit breaker, of course. When I plug it in, here we go. Okay, it's plugged in. And I have no idea how to run an oscilloscope. Position, time division, volt division. I see nothing here that says power. You would think it would be obvious where the power was. Intensity, focus. Oh, power. Here we go. Okay, I have a green light. Hopefully you can see that. And, oh my god, I have the green line. I think you can see that. Oh, position works. Okay. Position that way works. Alright, well, I said it. If the power's on, I'm going to give it the Scotty treatment. And it powers on. So let's clean this thing up. See what I come up with here. This thing is huge. It's going to be, this is going to be fun. Alright. Until then, life is good. Okay, we're going to begin by pulling these knobs off. And I noticed some of these are different, so I've got two of these pulled off. This one is a switch. When you pull it out and in, pull it out, push it in. I mean, these pulled off easy. I don't know. Yep, okay. So I don't know if I have to keep these in order or not. No, they look the same. These all look the same. So we're going to pull these off. These are the rocker switches. Oh, that's another switch. There we go. That one goes through the panel, so I don't need to pull that. Okay. These are going to be difficult under here in the middle panel. Let's try some of this shelf liner. That does not want to come out of there. Oh, look, the next one is a switch. That does not want to come off of there. Okay. And the next one is a switch. Oh, God, these do not want to come off. And the power one does not want to come off either. Okay. I think I'm going to have to do some research here to see what I can do to pull these knobs. That's obviously a dual. And that has a switch. And that's not pulling out either. Okay. I think I have to do some research here. These other rocker switches will pull off. No big deal. These on the bottom, I'll go through the panel, but I have to pull these knobs off in order to clean them. Oh my God, that's on there. Okay. I need to do some research and find out why these knobs do not come off. Other than that, you know, when I get these all off, they're going to go in a screen, and in the sink, hot water, simple green, Dawn dish detergent. You already knew that. Man, these... Oh my god. Okay. I gotta do some research on how to get these off. There's no Allen screws, just so you know. Everybody's gonna say, there's Allen screws, and no, there's no Allen screws, they're just on there. These all came off fine, so... Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so I got this top row of buttons off, and these are being very stubborn. The ones that are switches, I think I can use the spoon trick. I have that shelf lining here. Get the spoon underneath it so you're not touching anything else. And then we don't want to scratch up the panel, so we use the shelf liner. Here we go. There we go. That one came off, and it still looks like the other ones. Next position. Again, we don't want to ruin anything around there while we're prying, so... Oh, there we go. Next one. The problem is these switches have no in and out detent like these, so how am I going to get behind there to get those out? I think it's going to just take brute force. I mean, I can't even get underneath them. Alright, well, two more of the knobs are off. Let's see if we can get these off. Okay, so back here with the Heath oscilloscope, I did get one of these knobs off. These red knobs on these cylindrical pots. I noticed that the center knob on this one, the center shaft, is bent. I cannot get this one off. And then I noticed when I turn them around, they both have Allen screws, or set screws. Hopefully you can see that. So I've been fishing around in my screwdriver bit. I can only find a Torx head screw that'll fit in there. That wasn't even tight. And will it come out? That's all it should need to come out. You shouldn't need to loosen these very much. There's no Allen screw on the other side. Let's try this one. That one also loosens well. It still does not want to come off. So we're going to try the shelf liner and just a regular screwdriver, just so we don't scratch the panel. Is that going to come off? That does not want to come off. Nope. I don't imagine that screw is anything but a set screw. Let's take it out all the way. Put the shelf liner in there. Man, that does not want to come out. Well, I'm going to put that back in there so I don't lose it. And then we're going to do some more research, I guess. Neither one of these want to come out. Shelf liner. Nope, neither one of these want to come off. I wonder if this time division or time divider will come off. Man, that doesn't want to come off either. Okay, well, that has an Allen screw. Loosen the set screw. Yep, that one wants to come off. Okay, well, that one's off with just a slight loosen of the set screw. Man, I mean, I just have these two left, and they do not want to come out of there. Oh, wait a minute. I have some movement. Come on. That might be in the way, but it should push the red knob out as well. Come on now. Nope. Nope, that doesn't want to come out. And I'm hurting the knob, of course, by prying on it, which I didn't want to do. Man, these do not want to come out of here. Nope. See, I got movement on that one too, but oh my god. So I think I'm gonna have to put some kind of break-free something on there. They are not gonna come out of there. I'll be back. Alright, so back with this Heath oscilloscope. I've tried everything to get these knobs off. One of the red ones came off with a pull. The other one is on there. And I've come to the conclusion, using the spoon method and some other tries, they're going to stay on there. So let's tighten them back up. Tighten the set screws back up. I don't understand why these won't come out. I really want to, wash them with the other knobs. But you know what? They're not going anywhere. So I have all these knobs and the lever ends right here. Those are going to get washed in a screen in the sink. Hot water, simple green, Dawn dish detergent. I need to keep this one separate because it's the power. It's the only different knob out of all these. So I'm going to wash that one separate. Alright, I'll be back. Hey, Save the Day Scotty here. So just a little Scotty tip. If you're ever going to wash anything like these knobs, and they're pretty small, to keep them from going down the drain, because once it's down, it's gone. So I know I have a strainer in here, and it also acts as a plunger, but I like to use, this is an air fryer basket. You can get a smaller mesh one if you have smaller parts, but please put something in there so that you don't lose your parts, especially, something small like this. Put something in your sink so you don't lose it down the drain. This one's pretty cool because you push it down and it plugs the drain. And push it again and it drains. So there's no chance of it going down the drain. Other ones you have to pull them out. So I like these. Alright, let's get these knobs cleaned up and get back to that oscilloscope. Alright, I have all the knobs in the sink. Hot water, Dawn dish detergent, simple green. And we're going to let that soak for a little bit. And then we're going to come back and clean them up with the paper towels. If you buy good enough paper towels, they will last through this cleaning, cleaning all these knobs and a lot more. So I'll be back when I get these all cleaned up. All right, we got all the knobs and switch ends cleaned up. Time for the main panel. Save the day, Scotty here, and I'm back with this oscilloscope. I have no need for an oscilloscope, but I own an oscilloscope. So last video you watched me struggle with these knobs to get them off. I got most of them off, and these have been cleaned up and scrubbed on and whatever. So these other knobs, you watched me struggle with them. You know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but there are 2 set screws there, and I didn't see the second one. So, you know, these knobs have just a limited range, and I couldn't see the other screw. So when I went to clean this up, there's 2 screws per knob. So got those off. We're going to clean those up. The rest of the knobs have been cleaned up, and we'll get back to this thing. I already have a lot of cleaning done. You can probably tell. Some of these, the plastic on the surround here had some, you know, black marks where it had been dragged and bumped against things. There was a red mark in here. And, you know, but for the most part, other than some light scratches, the case is in pretty good shape. I got this thing pretty much cleaned up. But I wanted to update you about these knobs. Yeah, you know, I missed the second screw. If you go to restore one of these, or, you know, any stereo equipment or electronics equipment with these knobs, you know, most of them have 1 set screw. These have 2. Make sure you have a look before you go prying and ruining things. But that's why we use the spoon trick. So you take some shelf liner and a spoon, and you get underneath the knob, and you can pry without ruining the panel, the display panel. So here, I'll show you. This thing is huge. So I got the display panel pretty much cleaned up. Now that I have these 2 knobs off, I can get in here. And by the way, this knob was bent. It had been bumped against something. The shafts of these knobs, the ones that pull out and go back in as switches, very, very thin. This one got bumped. Very, very light pressure with some regular pliers. And be careful, because it's easy, very easy to snap these off. And if you snap it off, now you're done. Now you got to buy a whole new switch. It's a concentric in and out switch. And pot potentiometer. So, alright, for the most part, I got this cleaned up. It's looking pretty good. Now that I have these other knobs off, because I'm unobservant or stupid, one or the other, I'm going to clean these up, and we'll get this thing back together and see what it looks like. Alright, we are back with this Heath 25 megahertz oscilloscope. Have I mentioned I have no use for an oscilloscope? Okay, here we go. I promised I'd clean it up because it powered on. So I have all the knobs back on. And this one, in addition to these 2, had 2 set screws, but one of them must have been loose, because when I loosened the first one, it came right off. So here we go. This whole thing is cleaned up. Looks really good. All the knobs are cleaned up. You know, using the method I showed in the previous video. So, from what I'm told, getting a BNC cable to go from the oscilloscope to my CB radio, which is PL239, I just have to buy a cable, and I can tie one of these into the transmit and the other one into the receive. And while I'm talking on the CB, I should get oscilloscoping, a display, something. So we'll see. We'll see what this turns into. But so I gotta buy a couple of cables I do have an open port on my CB radio antenna switch, so this will pick up, from what I've told, this will pick up the resonant RF inside of that switch and display happy sine waves, spikes, whatever. So I think I'm going to play with this. This is the only use I can find for it, is having it make, you know, science-y, sci-fi patterns while I'm talking on the CB. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So this thing cleaned up really nice. One thing I want to show you is the magic eraser. So we had some brown brown scuffs here, something that got rubbed against it. There was a red mark in here, a couple other black marks from where it had been you know, lugged around, and I have one left that I left to see if we can remove that. And there it is. So let's see if the magic eraser can take that off. I'm going to get this wet a little bit more. There it goes. It's coming off. You can see it's almost gone. I'm going to try a different just dig into it a little more. There we go. Alright, there it is. That mark is completely gone now. And, you know, always follow up with drying this off, and then the spray carnauba wax. You know what, I forgot to mention, furniture polish works very well on electronics as well. So, alright, we got that mark off of there. I'm going to finish this thing up. This thing is done, man. So, looks really, really good. The screen, actually the screen has no scratches on it, which is amazing. That's not glass, so that's plastic. So I'm amazed that there's no scratches there. So what I'm going to try to do is buy the cables and hook this up to my CB radio and see what kind of sci-fi we can get into with this display. All right. As always, life is good. Save the day, Scotty here, back with this oscilloscope, which I thought I had no need for an oscilloscope, but actually I was talking to the guy that I bought it from, and he's one of our local CB group guys. We talk pretty much every night on the CB, and he was telling me, get the cable, the BNC cable, and hook it up to the oscilloscope and hook the other end up to your antenna switch. So that's what I've done. This is an open port on the antenna switch, so it's not hooked directly into the CB. Do not hook these up directly to your CB radio, because you will either burn the finals out of the radio or you will burn the oscilloscope, and smoke will come out and it won't be happy. It won't be a good time. So this essentially is picking up the RF that's bouncing around inside of that switch, seeing how it's next to the other connections. So I think that I've been playing around with this for about 20 minutes. I think I got this set up so at least it makes and make some cool patterns on the screen. Okay, here we go. Fun with oscilloscope on the radio, on CB radio, part 1. Audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio. Okay, that is cool as hell. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, this thing is so huge that I have no room for it in my system. So I'm going to keep it on the table here for a while and play around with it and watch the pretty Christmas trees and waves and whatever fly by on the screen. But, for $20, I got this thing all cleaned up. It cleaned up very, very nicely. This thing looks almost brand new. And I'm going to have fun with this for now. Who knows how long it'll sit here on the table. But, it works. Everything works. As I said, it took me about 20 minutes to figure out the settings so that I could actually get the happy waves and Christmas trees and whatever on the screen. But, no, this is cool as hell, man. I really like it. So that'll be it for the oscilloscope. All cleaned up, working fine, and making scientific patterns on the screen while I talk on the CB. All right. As always, life is good.